is News 4 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Steve Savard. The Monroe County, Illinois Sheriff says his department has seized more than $100,000 worth of marijuana plants over the last 3 weeks. Since posting photos on the department's Facebook page, he says people from outside the county are criticizing his deputies for seizing the plants. News 4's Courtney Bryant is live from our Illinois newsroom where the sheriff is responding to some of his critics. Courtney?
That's right, Steve. He's defending his actions, not backing down. The sheriff tells us he's proud of the actions his deputies have made to take weed off the streets. In 3 weeks, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department has made 4 marijuana seizures, 50 plants found growing in cornfields, a combined street value of $100,000.
They damaged the corn, they cut corn down, and you know, we're not going to tolerate anything like that. There
have been critics. Some commenters on the department Facebook page have accused deputies of wasting tax dollars and resources. Is it a waste of resources?
It is not.
On Monday, Sheriff Neil Rolfing responded to the critics with a post of his own, proudly defending the work of his deputies as necessary.
They're going to sell this marijuana, most likely, since it's being grown in Monroe County. A pretty educated guess, but it's going to be sold in Monroe County.
Just this June, Illinois state lawmakers voted to decriminalize possession of pot in small amounts. The state also has a pilot program for medicinal marijuana use. Some would say it's only a matter of time before Illinois legalizes recreational pot use. That does not matter to Sheriff Rolfing. To the critics, he has this to say.
Especially for the people in Colorado and Seattle. I mean, it's if everything's working out for you out there and it's legalized and you're not having any problems, that's fantastic. But right now in the state of Illinois, it's still illegal.
About the seizures, a few more facts for you. Of those 4 seizures, 2 of them were done through a combination of calls for service. That's owners who called the sheriff's department to report illegal plants growing on their property. The other 2, though, were done through what the sheriff tells us are called special patrols from the air. In Monroe County, Courtney Bryant, News 4.
In Missouri, activists are planning to circulate 2 petitions designed to ease restrictions on marijuana in Columbia. They would also legalize the drug for medicinal use across the state. The group, Show Me Cannabis, wants to allow small amounts for medicinal use and allow people in Columbia to grow 6 or fewer marijuana plants. Their goal is to get the issues on the November 2016 ballot. Caseyville police tell us this 27-year-old man, Ryan Atwood, has been busy damaging property. They claim he took a baseball bat and damaged someone's truck after an argument. When Caseyville PD showed up on scene, they say they saw him hitting the truck with his fists. We're also told Atwood resisted arrest while police were putting him in a squad car. Well, some great news for one of the businesses destroyed just north of Ferguson in Delwood during the unrest last year. Juanita's Fashions Our Boutique has received a $20,000 gift from the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Owner Juanita Morris says she'll open up a new location. It'll be just a few miles away on Newhalls Ferry Road when they open up for business next month. Shoppers are not the only ones anticipating the opening of the new IKEA store in Midtown St. Louis. First responders are now preparing for more people to visit an already busy area. News 4's Lauren Posen is live with the Bomberito Street Fleet. And Lauren, you rode with the firefighters today. What's their game plan?
Well, you know, I did. In Fire Station 21, they've been preparing for this for weeks. And to give you some perspective, I'm standing right in front of Fire Station 21, but right across the street, we have IKEA. And then, of course, this right here is the main intersection. They both share an intersection known for some major congestion.
This is one of our busiest firehouses in the city. It houses multiple units that go on a wide variety of runs.
Captain Greg Favor wasn't kidding. Take a listen to what went on during our interview.
It's important that they know that we are here and this is going to be a call, so I'll be happy to. I don't know who it's going for.
Once that engine left, we asked Favor if crews are ready for the massive opening of IKEA. A store expected to bring in huge crowds.
We have a light in place here that we can hit the automatic stop. We can actually change the signals in the intersection. When we have an emergency call come in, it'll slow everybody down. It'll stop the directions that we need to stop. These guys can pull out, go to the call, come back accordingly.
That's not all. Favor says for the first couple of weeks, more resources will be out during afternoon hours, including EMS, because of the large volume of people expected.
We want to make sure that we're being a really good partner with IKEA and coming up with some solutions that allow these units to get in and out as quickly as they can when they're responding to life-threatening emergencies.
The one thing that is for sure is that more traffic will be here, for better or worse.
The intention of revitalizing this area is great. I'm certainly not advocating we redo the streets because that would be another headache, but I am not looking forward to the congestion.
Hard to say. I think right when it opens there'll be a ton of new traffic, but it'll even out. So no, I'm for it.
Of course, drivers will play a major role in this too. As soon as you see those engines go out of these doors and the sirens are going, you need to move over to the side and get out of their way. IKEA set to open next week on Wednesday. Reporting live in Midtown, Lauren Posen, News 4.
And for those of you who can't wait for the IKEA to open, make sure you tune into News 4 this morning. Tomorrow, Steve Harris will be live inside with a sneak peek. We're waiting on charges to be filed against a 53-year-old man who attacked another man with a machete in an alley near Palm and Natural Bridge in North City. That incident happened yesterday afternoon about 4. The victim has some cuts and abrasions to both hands after fighting off the attacker. New information tonight about a shooting in South St. Louis just before 11 last night. A man stopped at the intersection of Virginia Avenue and Osage was robbed after a man asked him for a lighter. He turned around and another man pointed a gun at him. The victim handed over cash but was shot in the arm and leg. He is expected to survive. So far, no suspects in the shooting. A theft in Jefferson County is teaching a lesson about the emotional toll on crime victims, even if the value of stolen items isn't much. A family living in a neighborhood north of DeSoto came home from soccer practice last night and found someone had stolen an ATV from their yard. The parents say the crime has made their boys so uneasy, they don't feel safe in their own home.
They don't care that the four-wheeler's gone. They care that they're worried about somebody else coming back and what else they're going to do if they come into their home.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department says a good way to reduce the risk of becoming a crime victim is to get to know your neighbors, so they'll know to call police if they see someone who doesn't belong on your property. Many of you remember July's emotional public plea from Alderman Jeffrey Boyd. It came just after his nephew was gunned down in West St. Louis.
Let's march for Rashad Farmer. We march every time the police shoot and kill somebody, whether they deserve it or not, I can't call it. But we're not marching when they're killing each other in the streets. Let's march for that. How about that? Can we have some marching out in the neighborhood?
The shooting death of 23-year-old Rashad Farmer served as a rallying cry to end the violence in the city of St. Louis. Farmer's mother is speaking out for the first time since her son's death. In a story you'll only see on News 4, Renee Whitfield sat down with our Mugo Adigwe.
He was my firstborn, my everything. Like, he gave me my motivation, my strength.
He was also a father-to-be. His girlfriend was 5 months pregnant with her son, but then came the evening of July 13th.
I got a call from his girlfriend, and she was just screaming in the phone.
Renee Whitfield says when she arrived on the scene, she was greeted with some chilling words from her sister.
She said he's gone.
Her 23-year-old son, Rashad Farmer, and another man were ambushed outside a home in West St. Louis City. Farmer was fatally shot in the chest. Now his mother wants the killer brought to justice.
It's very important because it's so many unsolved murders. And I feel like as a mother, you deserve to know who did this. And not only do you deserve to know who did this, you deserve to look this person in the eye and let them feel the pain that you feel.
Of the 140-plus murders this year, Rashad's is one of the 98 still open.
People, I believe, that are committing murders in the city of St. Louis are becoming more emboldened because, you know, it's not ending up in them behind bars.
President Lewis Reed says the city needs a plan.
We need a top-down, end-to-end evaluation of what's happening in these cases and what are we doing to investigate them, what type of resources we have.
Police Chief Sam Dotson has argued that 160 more police officers is one of those needed resources. But President Reed says the money isn't there right now. Instead, he's enlisted the help of the feds, who are currently working with the police departments to solve several open cases. Still, Renee is asking someone who knows anything to step forward.
I'm hoping. I can't lose my hope because this happened in broad daylight. You can't tell me someone didn't see anything.
Mugo Odigwe, News 4.
Anyone with information about the shooting death of Rashad Farmer is asked to call Crime Stoppers. There's a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. Thousands of residents in Missouri and Illinois may not be getting their food stamp payments. How politics in Washington are delaying them. On News 4 at 10.
It's been a warm and dry stretch, but temperatures are inching up slowly. I'll take you through the rest of the week's weather and the weekend coming up.
And tonight we're hearing from Yadier Molina for the first time about his thumb injury. Doug Vaughn is at Bush talking to Yadi. Mo Drummond will have that later in sports. And next.
Any clue how much money it would take from each taxpayer in Missouri and Illinois to balance each state's budget? Some startling numbers, especially for the people of Illinois, coming up tonight on News 4 at 6.
The News 4 Illinois Newsroom is brought to you by Cantor & Berger, an experienced injury law firm. You wake up